Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tatami, and I just talk about whatever I want to here and hope that it finds people. And I feel as though my adoption video found people. I was really surprised. My one about adopting gaggles of children resonated with a lot of people, and I was really glad for that. I'm glad that other people, have started to think critically about things like that. And I do think that keeping a close eye on and offering critique to things such as adoption, things that affect children's lives so seriously is really important, because it's not always the answer. I think a lot of people think that it's always the answer, and it really isn't. I also, I'm not going to say I think all adoption should be like banned or whatever, but I do think that a lot of people are just confused about what adoption should be about. And I do think that there's nothing wrong with advocating for adoption to be about the child, for advocating for the child to be centered, and advocating for us to have a mindset shift away from thinking adoption should be about all these other things, which people constantly believe and even celebrate. Like, I don't think adoption, as I've said, should be about adding spice to your mayo family, making it a Chipotle spice family, making it, adding some ingredients that weren't there before so that you have a little conversation starter, so that you have some interest and intrigue to your pictures. People want to ask you about this. People are impressed with you. It says something about you that you like. Your adoption should also not be about, or the adoption of a child into your family should also not be about your miscarriages, your womb, your inability to have children, your how much you disliked giving birth, how hard pregnancy is on you. Your adoption just shouldn't be about that. That's not your kid's problem. That's not a burden that you should be placing on them. They're a child, and the adoption should be about them. There are definitely outlets and resources for you, and the adopted child in your life should not be one of them, should not be used as one of them. They are not, I don't think adoption should ever be about your envisionment of the future of a certain type of people. I don't care if it's a certain, sex, a certain race, a certain, I don't know, like culture, lifestyle, look. If you think you are changing the world with your child that you're trying to adopt, you're doing this wrong. I think, I don't know, there's just a part of me that thinks that your child should be enough. This child that you've adopted, that should be enough. That should be more than enough. I mean, if you're, if it really is all about this wonderful child, who's just amazing, this little angel that came into your life, it shouldn't be about you getting attention. It shouldn't be about you getting kudos. It shouldn't be about you, like I said, changing the world, implementing ideas that you've had, like that type of weird, using them as some kind of an experiment, socially or scientifically or otherwise. Like, it just, the adoption should be about the child, and it should come from a place where this child is more than enough and is a wonderful gift on their own, without all this added stuff, without the news being in your face, Oprah, etc., etc. I do think that we should live in a world where people are more willing to volunteer and give without, exploiting children. It would be wonderful. But I do think that part of that starts with the community. It starts with our own mindsets shifting. It starts with us no longer just applauding blindly when we see adoption, hear adoption, all this other stuff. it like the only times that it's not, you know, applauded for is when someone dies, you know, and then it's kind of glossed over. I feel even then the issues of adoption are still glossed over, even though a child just died in adoptive care. And if that had happened in foster care, people would have gone off the deep end with their rage. But because it happens in an adoptive family, it's minimal, and it's not seen, you know, with the level that I think it would be in other circumstances. So anyways, I wanted to make a quick video about, you know, just my personal beliefs on what adoption should and shouldn't be about. And, you know, I hope that that helps change people's mind, or it helps them look at somebody in their life a little more critically, or not just their life, but people they know, you know, people they see on TV. Just even if it will make you think, maybe I don't even really want to watch this. This is kind of gross now that I think about this with a more critical, you know, mind. You know, maybe it will help you to even look at the adoptive parents with different eyes. And instead of just seeing them as the savior angel, you can perhaps sometimes even be able to notice when they're a user of some sense of this child, burdening this child with their needs and not centering the child at all. So, you know, there are situations where, you know, maybe people are really poor, so they go on TV to try and get some money, but it's still pimping out your kids, and it's still more than I think adopted kids need to go through. Yeah. And, you know, finally, I wanted to also add people who collect them all, people who are just trying to kind of fulfill a collection, be that of disabled children, be that of multiracial, getting or being the parent of as many of this one kind of race that you really adore. Just strange, you know. That's the type of stuff that we should be nipping in the bud. You know, there's a lot of things that adoption shouldn't be about, but there's one thing that it should be about, and that is centering the child and, you know, seeing them as enough and seeing them as a wonderful gift that you're willing to dedicate your time to and your energy to, just as you should any child, but especially an adoptee. All right, you have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe.